Imagine a story so simple, so perfect, that it echoes for 1,000 years. A king hangs a bell in the town square. A rope hangs down for anyone to pull. The rule is this: if you have been wronged, ring the bell, and justice will be served. One day, the bell rings, but no one is there. The rope is tugged by an old, mistreated horse, seeking justice from its cruel owner. And justice, in the end, is done. This is the Bell of Atri, a medieval folktale from Italy. But what if I told you this charming fable didn't just teach a moral lesson? What if it directly inspired one of the most iconic symbols of American law? I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi, and this is Hidden Histories, the Untold Files. The tale of the Bell of Atri has many versions, but its core is timeless. It speaks to a universal longing, a system where even the smallest, weakest voice can be heard, where the mechanism for justice is public, accessible, and impartial. It's a beautiful idea, and it was incredibly well known. For centuries, this story was repeated across Europe in collections like Aesop's Fables and the Gesta Romanorum. It was a staple of moral instruction. Now, let's cross the Atlantic and fast forward to the early 18th century. We're in Philadelphia. A young lawyer, who would later become one of the most influential founders of the United States, is walking the streets. His name is William Penn, and he has a problem. You see, Penn was a Quaker, and his faith was persecuted under English law. He was deeply, personally invested in the idea of accessible and fair justice. He founded Pennsylvania as a holy experiment in tolerance and lawful liberty. And here is where the threads of our mystery knot together. In Penn's fledgling colony, the need for a public, civic space for justice was paramount. Historians digging through colonial records find a fascinating directive. For the city of Philadelphia, Penn himself ordered the construction of a public edifice for hearings, and he specified it must include a bell. A bell to be rung to alert citizens to public announcements and, crucially, to the proceedings of the court. A bell to call the community to justice. But is that just a coincidence? A practical bell and a folktale bell? The connection deepens when we look at the most famous bell of all, the Liberty Bell. Cast in 1751, its inscription is a verse from Leviticus: "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof." It was a bell of proclamation, of announcement. But its cultural power is that of a symbol. It became the symbol of independence, of a nation's cry for justice against tyranny. It transformed from a functional object into a storytelling icon, much like the Bell of Atri. The argument isn't that William Penn read the story and said, "Build that." It's more profound. The Bell of Atri codified a powerful metaphor into Western consciousness. The bell is the voice of the voiceless, the literal call to judgment that cannot be ignored. When Penn, a man steeped in European literary and legal tradition, envisioned a new system of justice in a new world, that metaphor had a place. The physical bell in the square became the philosophical bridge between an ancient ideal and a new constitutional reality. It's the idea that justice must not only be done, but be seen and heard to be done. It makes you think, doesn't it? Here I am in New York, a world away from that medieval Italian town square or colonial Philadelphia. But the power of a single story to travel, to embed itself in the foundation of something as vast as a national identity, is breathtaking. We often think of laws and systems as cold, logical things, but they are born from stories, from parables, from our deepest human fables about fairness. The next time you see an image of that cracked Liberty Bell, remember the old horse of Atri. Remember that sometimes, the most enduring frameworks of justice are built not just on legal precedent, but on the simple, ringing truth of a folktale. This has been Hidden Histories, the Untold Files. I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi. For more deep dives into the shadows of our past, visit Light Knot Studios at https://www.lightknotstudios.com.